This sensation occurs while solving design challenges and addressing other creative problems when one enters a concentration zone that makes all other matters recede into the background.
Welcome to Create New Futures, a show about thought-provoking ideas and practices you can use to create and shape your future in life and in business. Join Aviv Shahar, author and innovation strategy consultant, as he shares his proven strategies that have helped clients create breakthrough results. Aviv has guided executives at Fortune 100 companies, and now he wants to help you.
This is Aviv with a new episode of Create New Futures. And in this one, we bring the focus to prioritizing your assets. You may be a CEO or you may be leading a large or small organization, but you are most likely and quite certainly leading yourself and leading your family. So this episode is about prioritizing your assets. I want to be the best CEO I can this year, Jeff stated as we began our trusted advisory call. I need to prioritize my assets accordingly. During our coaching conversation a few days earlier, I had Jeff reflect on the CEO's top most valuable assets by asking him a question I often ask senior leaders. What do you believe are your most precious assets? Many leaders, including Jeff, have a ready-made answer to this question. Our people. People are our most precious assets. Such responses do not cultivate new thinking, nor do they lead to new perspectives. The first objective of my CEO advisory and coaching work is to create space for new ideas and perspectives. Clients don't pay me merely to revisit what they already know. Sure, validation is important. However, their higher priority is to upgrade the results they achieve by elevating their performance. To achieve this much higher ROI during our engagement, leaders must create a new space inside of which it is possible for them to elevate their performance to attain the desired results. Too many business people, consultants, and coaches fail to realize this simple and important fact. We cannot create new outcomes inside a place that's already crowded by old thinking and cluttered with the debris of prior attempts. Creating a new thinking space inside which novel outcomes can appear because we can perceive and connect dots we previously were unable to see is the prerequisite to creating innovative breakthroughs. How do you create such an innovative space? One technique is to introduce a new inquiry and a novel mental model. Adopting this approach can get us off the intellectual armchair of habitual thinking. To bring our exploration to a realization point, my next question to Jeff was, it's true that your people are your most important organizational asset. What, though, are your personal most precious resources? There is a finite number of hours a day. My time is my most precious asset, Jeff replied immediately. I responded, your answer is partially correct. Your time is 1/3 of a fuller equation. The fact is that your leadership resources, your precious CEO currencies, and for you, the listener, your precious currencies, are your ETF assets: energy, time, and focus. ETF assets: energy, time, and focus. Without focus and energy, time means very little to your impact. Reflecting with Jeff on the nature of energy, time, and focus led to several realizations. First, at different levels of focus and energy, we tend to experience time differently. For example, when I used to run competitively, I would enter the aerobic zone to find a state of flow in which I felt I could keep running for hours. Similarly, This sensation occurs while solving design challenges and addressing other creative problems when one enters a concentration zone that makes all other matters recede into the background. Second, all three currencies have an elastic quality to them. By entering a zone of energized focus, the sense of time tends to become mutable, therefore extending its perceived boundaries. For example, in the strategy and leadership workshops I lead, there are moments when the executive team breaks through resistance and enters a zone of creative focus where time recedes because they produce profoundly meaningful agreements and identify their next action steps. Third, and perhaps most critical, the outcomes we produce inside the high energy, high focus zone tend to dramatically exceed what is produced outside that special zone and in less time. The point of this coaching dialogue with Jeff is to develop his level of self-awareness to the point that when he operates in that high energy, high focus zone, he integrates experiential and somatic mindfulness into the flow of impact and results he creates. The energy, time, focus awareness was the springboard for our priorities discussion. Jeff downloaded a list of 12 items he was working on, several of which contain a series of elements that required attention. To help him align his priorities with his purpose and intent, I offered Jeff the Impact Must Energy, the IME priority setting formula. I propose that you too look at the portfolio of requirements and opportunities on your time and attention in the following threefold way. First, impact. Do what creates the highest impact, according to where you have the greatest leverage. For example, in the case of Jeff, he decided that coaching and mentoring his team and holding them accountable to the highest level of performance belongs in the impact category. Second, must. Do what you must do. For Jeff, this involves lead a quarterly review, or when people refuse to change, when it's time to move forward in a different direction, let them go. Third, energy. Do what renews your energy and excites you. For example, in the case of Jeff, he determined that engaging with important customers, mentoring young talent, and speaking at industry conferences will regenerate and replenish and excite him and fill him with energy. So that's what he prioritized. Jeff indeed proceeded to implement the IME formula, impact, must-dos, energy renewal, to delineate and reflect on his activity map and to prioritize the application of his precious ETF assets. Now it's your turn. Turn the key. How will you apply your energy, time, and focus? Where do you create the highest impact? What must you do? And finally, what revitalizes you and renews your energy?
Thank you for listening. Aviv always encourages his clients to identify the one or two ideas they can move forward into action immediately. What will you capture and apply today? You can always begin with a small action and then build momentum over time. When you move forward from an idea to action, you get immediate ROI, return on the time you invested, and return of learning. And then the learning cycle builds the success propulsion. One more thing. You can reach Aviv directly by phone and email to discover how he can help you create a new future for your business and organization. Creating your new future can begin today.